Okay, this is our final episode of Battle of the Builders Marathon, and it's been such a fun week. But most importantly, don't forget to check out the Battle of the Builders premiere on the History Channel tomorrow morning, February 7th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy the show, and I'll see you guys at the end.
Welcome to the 6th annual SEMA Battle of the Builders. Once again, right here in the heart of the desert, Las Vegas, Nevada.
And what better place to see some of the world's most talented automotive craftsmen than right here at the world's largest aftermarket super show.
That is insane!
This is the ultimate showdown to find out which builder has what it takes to be the absolute best.
This is the 6th annual SEMA Battle of the Builders, and the battle is about to begin.
Hello and welcome to SEMA Battle of the Builders. I'm AJ, and with me is Tanner Faust.
Thank you, AJ. Always a pleasure. And here we are once again at one of the most prestigious automotive competitions the world has ever seen.
And of course, a big thanks to the Specialty Equipment Market Association, or SEMA, for once again hosting this incredible competition.
This is Battle of the Builders' 6th consecutive year. And this year we've got bigger crowds, a ton of entries, and the toughest competition we've ever seen.
SEMA is a collection of the industry's latest and greatest innovations. This is the upper echelon of automotive creativity. Just showing a car on the SEMA floor is a high honor.
6 years ago, Battle of the Builders made its mark at SEMA with its inaugural competition. And every year since, it's grown exponentially. More entries, more prestige, and tougher competitors.
Battle of the Builders is one of the premier events of the year. The only competition that can turn backyard builders into automotive icons. And our 6th year is already shaping up to be our best.
The innovation, the technology at SEMA is just crazy, because that's where everybody debuts their stuff. That's where you go to get your name, that's where you go to stay relevant in the industry.
Just beautiful cars everywhere, unbelievable talent everywhere, and just every part you've ever wanted to see.
You gotta go see it. It's pretty eye-opening. People know who Simtex Rods is because of SEMA.
The whole automotive world turns its eye on Las Vegas once a year to see what innovations and trends are sweeping the industry.
SEMA is where the bar is set. It is, simply put, the best of the best. Battle of the Builders is the main event here at SEMA, and this year it's bigger and badder than ever.
As always, our Battle of the Builders judges will narrow down the competition to just 10 from each of our 4 categories: Young Guns, Hot Rod, Truck and Off-Road, and Sport Compact.
Then they'll select their top 3 finalists from each category, leaving us with the final 12 or the decorated dozen.
At which point, it's up to the builders to select a winner from each category. And those 4 winners go head-to-head to determine our Battle of the Builders champion.
As Battle of the Builders has grown in notoriety over the years, our judges continue to struggle with the mountain of entry forms.
Before SEMA officially opened its doors, our judges, Cam Miller, RJ DeVera, and Jeremiah Prophet, tackled that mountain of submission forms and picked their top 10 from each category.
Holy crap, these are nice cars. So much talent here. This is gonna be tough.
This year, we've got previous Battle of the Builder winner Cam Miller taking over the hot rod category.
Cars at this level, it's I definitely just the overall, does it get me? It's almost right at first sight. Then after that, it's really dig in and see if it's executed right. Attention to details where it's at for sure.
And another Battle of the Builders alum, Jeremiah Prophet, getting down and dirty with our truck and off-road entries.
I'm looking for quality in the build. So one of the great things about Battle of the Builders is what it's done for this industry and for builders in general. The bar just keeps getting higher and higher. This is about the builders and the quality of workmanship that they put into their vehicle.
And finally, RJ DeVera heading up the Sport Compact category.
There seems to be a lot of fusion, right? Like Euro guys mixing in some hot rod, truck guys mixing in some tuner, Sport Compact stuff. You walk up to a car and you're like, whoa, haven't seen that before.
The Young Guns judges have already spent hours on the SEMA floor and have arrived with their top 10, which only makes picking the overall top 12 even harder for our judges.
We appreciate it. Thanks for helping us.
Thanks for helping us, but not really helping us.
Right. Yeah, thanks for making it worse.
Get out of here.
And one of our eager new competitors this year is Zach Sadu and his classy and nostalgic hot rod.
I think it's milestones, really. You build a frame, it's like, okay, it's getting a frame. Put the body on the frame, okay, it's, you can see what a car looks like finally. You chop it, like, okay, you can see, the body's coming together. When you put a motor in there and like wiring and all that kind of stuff, it starts to get very tedious. What is it, the last 20% of a build takes 80% of the time or something like that?
There are countless man-hours put into these builds, but when passion is driving, the project time is irrelevant.
Things can be built in a garage, and it's not such a difficult task to do. It's more about just putting your head down and building the car. If I hit the top 40 at SEMA Battle Builders, that in itself is a pretty insane thought.
And from a classic Ford to a stunning goat, this is Jeff Farina's beefed-up GTO.
I don't know where we're going to stack up to the rest of the cars in the field. These cars that are out there are some of the best cars being built today. To be out there and to be part of it, it's really a big honor for me. For this car, I think what might set it apart is the fact that it still has the appearance of a restoration, but when you start digging around under the hood and looking underneath it, you see all the performance pieces of it, kind of a wolf in sheep's clothing.
And hopefully this wolf will have what it takes to get some serious attention from our judges.
It's quite a field, so when you stand back and look at everyone involved, that's impressive.
It's pretty clear these builders are bringing their A game to SEMA this year, which makes our judges' job even harder.
This is over the top, man.
Yeah,
All our judges are faced with an incredibly difficult task, especially with so many top builders.
We chopped the greenhouse on this beetle.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, really great entries this year across the board spectrum, American, import, Japanese, and European, so. Feels like some people have shifted and moved towards a cleaner stance or styling on the outside. There's still some wide bodies, but not as many as I've had in years past. So it's good to see things evolving.
I look for afterthoughts. Every build needs to have been completely thought out from the beginning, and if you get to the end and you realize that you want to add this or this isn't right, it always sticks out. There's a super obvious afterthought, it'll probably get. Feeling pretty good. I'm glad I'm getting it whittled down. I've got such a mix of vehicles. I mean, I've got slammed trucks, and I've got pre-runners. I've got monster trucks and rock crawlers. Off-road or on-road, it's going to be build quality that puts these guys on the board for me.
There's some intense stuff here. I'm excited to get down there and check these out in person.
It wasn't easy, but eventually our judges managed to narrow their choices down to 40 incredible rides.
I think I'm there.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
We ready to hit the floor?
Yes.
Get it going? Let's get down on the floor. Excited.
For a complete list of the top 40 contenders, visit the SEMA website at semabotb.com.
When we come back, our judges brave the crowds, taking their expertise to the SEMA floor.
Picking their top 3 from each category.
The competition continues when SEMA Battle the Builders returns. Welcome back to Las Vegas and the 6th annual SEMA Battle the Builders. As you can see, there is no shortage of amazing cars and people here on the SEMA floor.
And right now, our judges are out there somewhere taking a closer look at the top 40 finalists.
And we begin outside with one of our young gun contenders.
So this is a young gun, built in just a couple months. It's definitely super aggressive. Big fenders, wide wheels. It's cool because it's over the top. And it's a young gun's car. You can tell that this person is just really starting to get creative with their builds. Even the motor choice, which is an RB25 motor from a Nissan, and putting that into a Scion FRS, it's a weird combination. And to me, that's really exciting.
And not far away is another young gun, but this one takes a slightly more traditional approach.
It's just a clean build, right? It comes together cleanly,
Young Guns pumping up the quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Being a part of the Young Guns category is an awesome experience because us young people in the industry, we don't have a whole lot of connections. We show up to SEMA and it's just like a wave of overwhelming content and people, and you don't really know where to start.
But as overwhelming as it is, there is no better place to get the industry to take notice.
Started this company about 4 years ago on my driveway, and today we've grown to 3 different locations and a team of craftsmen and fabricators and a bunch of passionate gearheads. SEMA Battle of the Builders is going to be a good opportunity for us to kind of show our work off and show us what our capabilities are as a company.
And this beautiful truck has definitely turned some heads. Not only have our judges noticed, but this truck is already receiving some noteworthy accolades.
And from outside, we head into the central hall, where Jeremy Gerber's jaw-dropping Catalina is making quite a splash.
What do you know about this motor?
These motors are just gnarly. This is a Mercury racing motor, so they're big in the boat industry and stuff.
So a Mercury crate motor, boats can like wrap pretty high. What do you think the red line is on this?
So these go to 8,000 RPM, which is freaking
gnarly.
awesome.
Yeah, that's
especially
gnarly.
for that big of a motor.
Yeah, for a
I mean,
big V8.
It still has an old school feel to it, though, even though it's
Very
got
old
soul,
school. Look
you
at the
know?
chrome on the
soul,
seats.
yeah.
Yeah, this thing's just sweet, sweet.
And while we're talking about sweet, take a look at this tasty Bronco built by Jeremy's brother, Phil Gerber.
Patina 4x4, super cool. Bronco especially. I mean, it's a full trailing arm suspension, IFS front. It's very, very clean work under here. I mean, everything is well thought out. That's the best kind of patina builds.
Right.
Patina on top and state-of-the-art on the bottom.
If it's radical you're looking for, look no further.
So this is from Toronto. It's from Canada. It's a BMW 2002. It's got really wide metal fenders. These BBSs were, of course, rebarreled to match it. I love the stance of this car.
Yeah.
Lots of little details on this car that kind of give this hybrid race car yet street car feel. And it just has like awesome stance.
But you want to kind of drive it a little bit, right?
I would love to drive this thing.
Yeah.
For my class in particular, there's a huge infusion of European cars, much more so than before. So now I've got both Japanese, modern, and classic, and European, modern, and classic, and that's making my life a whole lot more difficult. All right, so this is another odd sport compact. I think this is a 190 Mercedes-Benz from the 80s, but check out the power point.
Dude, that's
insane, right?
Yep. LS.
This looks like one of those that makes 800 to 1,000 horsepower or something.
Oh,
like
it
that.
would do that.
I love how he's got the exhaust coming out the side. I bet you this thing sounds way gnarly.
Right.
And look at the rear tire fit.
So CUDA. This is my favorite generation.
This is your favorite gen.
I
This is
love
one-
the big back window. And this one is just so clean.
Yeah. But it's got a pop of red that makes it like, boom, in a good way though.
Yeah.
And not in a bad way.
Like if you saw that interior, just the interior, you'd be like, holy crap.
Right.
But
right.
it works. And this is way cool.
From bold on the inside to bold on the out, check out this throwback retro Scout built by Richard Rawlings of Gas Monkey Garage.
So I didn't realize that this is a super close to stock stripe pattern.
Oh, really?
Until I saw an almost stock one today with a similar. I feel like there's a few more stripes on the stock configuration, but that's why I love this retro 80s feel.
I like the plaid.
Yeah, plaid's cool.
It's got plaid. Kind of low for most four-wheel drives.
Yeah.
Weren't these four-wheel drives?
I think that ship sailed.
Yeah. And thumbs up.
All right, let's keep moving.
Moving back to the hot rod category, we've got a perfectly executed, beautiful Chevelle.
You flipped it upside down, it'd just be as cool
Oh,
as
yeah,
right
blow
side
your
out.
mind,
right?
man.
Even cooler, probably.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, this stuff has to be gapped and perfect all the way through, underneath, everywhere.
Classic muscle cars and a gremlin. Yeah, you heard that right, a gremlin.
So Cam, what's unique about this thing?
Wow, the whole thing,
I mean,
man.
the whole
Like,
thing,
Well,
yeah.
it's a
Is
gremlin,
it
man.
not
This is the
evident?
gnarliest gremlin I've ever seen.
So Cam, do you shed just a little tear because he took a gremlin off the street, a stock gremlin off the street to make this?
No, I think it's fantastic.
He jumps for joy.
Definitely daring to be different.
And daring to be different seems to be the theme this year. Just check out this outrageous Volvo from veteran Battle of the Builder category winner, Eddie Pettis.
The Swedish military had made these from 53 to 57, only making 700 of them. I think a few of the things that are gonna set us apart this year at SEMA would be the vehicle itself. Being a Volvo TP21 radio command vehicle for the Swedish military is not a super common car to have here. But I think also the attention to detail we provide in our builds, the theming from the front to the rear, all matches together and looks right.
While the shell might be true to the classic Volvo styling, the rest of this ride is pure innovation, turning this unique truck into an off-road masterpiece.
Just the honor to be at SEMA is exciting enough for me. I mean, just to have our car and available to get here, that's not an easy task in itself.
And again with the wild rides. Take a look at this one-of-a-kind custom camper.
This is an 86 C20 camper. It's kind of our theme, you know, building stuff you didn't think of.
The build began as an idea and grew, with every feature hand-fabricated.
SEMA Battle of the Builders, that exposure is huge. It's huge for our customer base, and it's also prestige as far as I'm concerned. You are competing against anybody and everybody. It's a huge opportunity for us. We talk about it all the time. For small shops, it's a huge deal.
Another huge deal, especially to RJ, is this classic 73 Celica.
Well, we just looked at a patina build on the truck side.
Yeah, and there's a
It's
patina
a patina
car.
build on the sport compact side. This came together really nice, though.
Yeah.
It's got an LS
Plaid-
motor.
Plaid thing going again.
More plaid. I like the plaid. Plaid is really...
Yeah.
Plaid's in.
Yeah, man. It's got like this country kind of,
It does, yeah.
you know, vibe. I do like the wheels. These are cool. It's an American racing wheel.
Oh, wow.
Check that out. That's really weird.
Yeah.
It is. What's
You know, it looks like a Panasport, but it's made by American Racing.
And you just knew Cam couldn't get through SEMA without stopping to take a look at a Camaro. His name is in the name CAMARO, and he did win Battle of the Builders with the Camaro.
Tell
So,
us.
I mean, this-
Educate us.
Well, the engine bay to start, I mean, this is all hand-fabricated panels. Very hard to do. They've raised the wheel wells up. Way tastefully done. I mean, it's got
That's a
such
great
tall
word.
spindles
Yeah.
and stuff. All that
It's-
stuff's got to work,
It feels
you know?
tasteful.
Yeah. It's really well done, but it's all business. Like, just super clean, and everything's there for a reason.
Yeah, it's very purposeful,
just
right?
well executed. This car's cool because everywhere you look, it's just mind-blowing. We're looking at the best of the best, of course. Everybody knows that.
Coming up, we announce the official decorated dozen.
When SEMA Battle of the Builders returns.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ira Gabriel from SEMA. I'm joined by Mike Robledo and Joe Serbagandio from the SEMA Battle of the Builders team. And this was the year we introduced some new judges. We had more top names in the competition. Mike, what do you remember?
We mix up the judging this year. Cam Miller becomes the hot rod judge, and Jeremiah Prophet takes over the truck division. And with a fresh set of eyes, there's a lot of new names in the top 12. Randy Borcherding's truck is an absolute stunner. ERIK PERATT's Roadster thing is just gorgeous. And LOUIE SHEFCHIK's ESO RIVOLTA, how rare is that thing?
You know, by the 2019 Battle of the Builders, everybody had realized that we had moved the location to the south end, and this place was mobbed, and it was really an electric time. I remember being out there, seeing all the competitors, getting videos taken and photos taken of them in their cars and their friends there celebrating with them. It was nice. It was nice to see them realize their dreams.
Hey, everybody. So we'll be back this year, Young Guns and Battle of the Builders, as we march towards the SEMA show in the fall. Be sure to check out the History Channel for the SEMA Battle of the Builders 2020 premiere. Check your local listings. And for more information on the Battle of the Builders, check out SEMABOTB.com. Well, let's get you back to the show. There's plenty more action left.
Welcome back. Well, we're getting closer and closer to awarding our top contenders from each category.
And it's never an easy job for the judges, and this year was no exception. But the job is done, and we have our official top 12, or the decorated dozen.
We're really excited. This is the moment that we begin to winnow down, right? This is our announcement of the top 12. We're gonna start with the Young Guns. So our 3 entries. starting with Brad SWANEY and his 1971 Chevrolet C10. Brad, come on up to the stage.
Being like up against the big builders is pretty cool, you know. It's almost like you don't belong, but you do.
Next up, Kyle Ray and his 1988 BMW E30.
2 days ago, I was, drooling over other people's cars, and now to think that this is going to be on the main stage with people all around the world looking at it is just unbelievable.
The final member of the Young Guns top 3, Luke MERRILL and his 1940 Chevrolet two-door.
It was pretty cool, man. That's what I've been hoping for and building for the last 2 years. I kind of had high hopes for making it there, so it's a relief, and I'm really happy and proud to be here.
Now we move into the Sport Compact. The first one, EDISON SARKISYAN, the 1955 Porsche 550 Spider.
Top 12 at SEMA is incredible. I mean, that's, I wouldn't expect that in my wildest dreams. I mean, this is the show of shows, so to get top 12 here is just incredible.
The second entry here is an amazing automobile, many of which of you probably have never heard of this make and model. LOUIE SHEFCHIK's 1968 EDISON RIVOLTA.
It was quite a surprise. It was not something that was expected at all. We're up there with the best of the best. It makes me feel very humbled and very appreciative.
And finally, the last entry in the Sport Compact category, T.J. Russell in his 1991 Porsche 911.
This feels awesome. I humbly say I expected it because I worked damn hard, but at the same time, you never know. There's a lot of really nice cars here, so I'm pretty honored to make it to the final 12.
Now we move to truck and off-road in a 1972 Chevrolet C10 shortbed built by Darren Smith.
Yeah, the hard work is starting to pay off now. Yeah, we watch the Battle of the Builders every year. We hope to get in it. We got small budgets. The dream is to somehow punch above our weight and get in there. And this year, I guess we managed to do it. Kind of a dream come true.
Next in the truck division is ERIK MAXLIDER and his 1972 Bronco.
To work this hard for this long and finally reach the pinnacle with the other folks that are in this category is just quite an honor.
And our final entry in truck and off-road, Randy BORCHERDING's 1955 Chevrolet pickup truck.
Holy moly, we never saw that coming. What a ride this has been so far. Man, I'm not even sure I belong in this group, but this is awesome.
And finally, the hot rod category. We start out with ERIK PERATT's 1936 Ford Roadster.
Apparently we brought an okay car that just got a top 12 and top 3 in the hot rod class. We didn't honestly think we could possibly make it this far, so anything from here on out is just great.
We move on to a 1932 Ford Phantom owned by Gary CORKELL.
The competition is crazy here, and honored to get this top 12. I'm not gonna sleep from here on out, man, so somebody hold me up,
And the final entry of the 2019 Battle of the Builders Top 12, a 1969 Camaro built by the Ring brothers, Mike and Jim Ring.
We build our cars to show up here, and it is special for us. This is where you find out if they like what you've done. It's awesome, but we'd sure like to win it.
When we come back, it's time for the judging to be turned over to the builders themselves, so they can crown the SEMA Battle of the Builders champion.
As always, a big thanks to our judges, but now it's up to our top 12 contenders to narrow the field and pick the best rides in each category.
This is the way it's gonna work. Each of our 12 finalists will have the opportunity to pull their ride up on stage and for 10 minutes, tell the other builders why their project deserves their vote.
Once all 12 vehicles have been judged, ranking them 1 to 12, we move on to the blind ballot. The only criteria, the builders can't vote for themselves.
Then our accounting team from Moss Adams will tabulate the results by category. The project with the highest ranking from each division will win for their category.
But they won't know who's been selected until we make the announcement.
And out of the 4, we'll find out who is our overall Battle of the Builders winner once we make our way over to SEMA Ignited.
All right, gentlemen, first up we have ERIK PERATT and his 36 Ford Roadster. 10 minutes starts now.
We did start with a original 36 Roadster. It's been pushed, pulled, stretched, squished, just to try to get the proportions correct. The car was lucky enough to win the America's Most Beautiful Roadster at the Grand National Roadster Show. Engine-wise, 351 Windsor. Since we're driving it, going to have fun, it's got to have a 5-speed in it, so it's got a TKO 600 5-speed. We got about 20 to 25,000 hours in a car like this, 7 to 8 years, a little on and off, to actually build the car. I want them to understand and notice that the car's been changed from top to bottom, front to back, and changed in a way that not just for the sake of changing it, but for the sake of design intent, and to make the 36 Ford just a much better looking vehicle. Every piece has been touched, but it's unmistakably a 36 Ford still. The Bugattis, Delahaye's, that's really the style that we were going for, but in a 36 Ford.
All right, gentlemen, next up we have ERIK MAXLIDER and his 68 Ford Bronco.
It's a little different than they created back in the 60s. Ford only offered a 2-door, and we decided to stretch it 30 inches. It's riding on a 4-link front and a 3-link rear set up Baja style with box coilovers all the way around. It's a custom MAXLIDER Classic Instruments gauge, but very much a Bronco gauge. People look at it and they understand that it's still a Bronco. It is 4-wheel drive. 4-wheel drive does work. Despite how big the wheels are, you can still take this thing off-roading and you can go just about anywhere. 37 by 13.5, 20s, rolling on 20 by 12-inch Vision wheels. And I think the proportions really came together well. In terms of engine, it has a Roush supercharged Coyote 5-liter. It's a Gen 2 model. Well, first of all, I don't think a first-generation Bronco has ever been represented in the top 12. So to see something as rude and crude as this vehicle on stage at the pinnacle is unbelievable.
All right, guys, next up is our first young gun of the day, and it's Brad SWANEY in his 1971 Chevy C10.
To look at it, it looks pretty basic C10. It's just painted, but it's all about all the little detail on it. Under the hood, we have just a 454, 700R trans. It all has classic performance tubular arms and coilovers on it. It has black walnut bed floor. It was made from rough cut black walnut. Anything to clean it up and still keep that stock kind of style truck without being like over the top has been done. The chassis been sanded and buffed smooth, all ARP bolts in the suspension. It's been in my family for over 20 years, so just makes it kind of more special. I did everything except wrap the leather on the seats and the console and stuff, but I made all the interior pieces, painted it, fabricated, everything but wrap leather. When I started, I was gonna just drive it every day, just daily drive it, but then it just got out of hand, and here we are now.
Next up is Edison SARKISYAN and his radical 550 Spider.
I figured if you bring a car to SEMA, it's got to be cool to begin with. It's got to be a cool platform to start off with, and everyone loves these cars. The old James Dean car. We wanted to do everything as original as possible in terms of the headlights, and wanted to keep it period correct, but at the same time, the whole motto of our shop is to piss off the purists as much as we can. Probably the largest challenge of this build is making it center steer, moving everything over to the center, the pedals, the steering, making it all work, making it all function. We call this car selfish because it's got one seat. So that's kind of the theme of this car. And it's just weird, it's different. It's something you don't see every day. You probably won't see another one like it. It's got about 230 horsepower.
What's this thing weigh?
It weighs about 1,400 to 1,500 pounds. It doesn't sound like much at SEMA because everybody's got 1,000 horsepower, but for the power to weight, this thing's just very, very fun to drive. It works. People really like it. The response has been incredible. And again, top 12, I can't believe it. I still can't believe it.
All right, gentlemen, next up is TJ in his 1991 Porsche 911. You've got 10 minutes.
This car started off life as a 1991 C4 911 Cabriolet. It was a convertible. The idea here is this is a full-blown off-road race car. Undercarriage, suspension, roll cage. So obviously, anybody that races off-road knows wheelbase is key to getting through the big bumps. I moved the rear wheels back 2 inches. I moved the front forward 1. Beefed everything up. It's got a huge 3.0 Elka coilover in the rear, which allows it's 13 inches of travel in the rear. All-wheel drive still. All the hubs, front and rear, are a Pro-Am hub. This isn't your average street engine. It's a high torque build that was built to turn these big 30-inch tires. Rossport Racing was lucky enough to team up and build that motor, and it works awesome. All Motec ECU, all Motec dash, buttons, Raychem mil-spec wiring harness, Deutsch connectors, everything that's built for off-road. I think for sure they're gonna see craftsmanship. And that's the first thing as a builder you look to see. Anybody can make a lot of things look good, but underneath it, how it was built and the fabrication, the fit and finish, the design, how well it was thought of. I hope that they see the overall appearance and overall fabrication and quality of the car.
Now to one incredible '69 Camaro, flawlessly built by the Ring brothers.
I mean, I think everybody that knows these cars, which most of you guys probably do, is you can see it still retains the '69 feel. The pattern of the carbon done with an angle weave is kind of carried out through the car. The car is all carbon. You just chose certain areas to expose it.
That's a Wagner. It's a 416 cubic inch LS with a Whipple on it. It's making about 900 horse, and it's an animal.
It's a 2-year build, but we actually didn't start getting parts till January of this year. We knew the wheelbase would be ahead. We moved that. We built the exhaust, and we built the floors, and as we got the pieces, we were kind of putting this puzzle together. This car's all about the detail. All 12 are in the same boat we are, and we all want it just as bad as the next guy, and we're all deserving as much as the next guy, so hopefully we're lucky.
Next, Luke Merrill built this fabulous 1940 Chevy two-door sedan for one lucky lady, his mom.
Ever since 2017 SEMA, I've been working on this full time, over 5,000 hours in it, all in a backyard garage, 98% of it by myself. I have only about $10,000 into this car, and that was important because, obviously doing all the labor for my mom for free and then doing, building the car, it would have been next to impossible without my sponsors. And I want to thank SEMA for all of that, and the Young Guns program especially, which has been a huge motivation for me, and I know lots of other kids. It's the reason I get up every day. Every panel has been reworked. There's not a single inch on this thing that hasn't been touched heavily. It's got a small block Chevy, mild built in it, nothing crazy, it's for my mom. And it's all bagged on Airlift Performance bags with Airlift Performance air management. The color is actually a custom color we came up with using Summit Racing paints. I try to keep this thing cheap, but make it nice, and it's for mom, so I wanted it super nice, but also couldn't really afford to put $100,000 into it, so.
Very nice.
Thank you. What I want people to take away is that anybody can do what they want to do. If you have enough hard work and passion into it, you can do whatever you want to do. I started with rat rods, come to something like this, it's just a different animal, and you just got to keep working hard.
We're nearing the final stage of the competition, but the battle is far from over.
Who will be selected as SEMA's Battle of the Builders winners?
Find out when we come back. Welcome back to SEMA Battle of the Builders.
Right now, the decorated dozen are in the process of ranking all of the vehicles 1 to 12.
We're about halfway through the judging process, with the builders putting every detail of these rolling works of art under the microscope.
Check out this beautiful '55 Chevy truck built by Randy Borcherding.
One of the things we try to focus on in our builds is I don't want to ruin what's right about the vehicle. For example, we didn't chop the top. It's got a nice tucked-in factory bumper that we just tweaked and modified a little bit. Advanced plating did the chrome front and rear. It's on a TCI chassis, Ride Tech, air ride suspension, LSX 454 GM Performance, a Legends 5-speed, trick flow heads, cam. It's a monster. The interior was done by Stitch by Stitch in Tennessee. The gauges, Classic Instruments did them. They're awesome. Steering wheel is done by EVOD. We tried to shrink down a '55 Chevy steering wheel. It's on billet specialty wheels. It's a wonderful driving truck. The air system, super comfortable. I was pleasantly surprised at how well this thing drives. It's like a modern truck going down the road. It all runs on a Bluetooth wireless system. Bed goes up. You can roll the windows up and down. And if it were in neutral, you could start it. I just hope they appreciate the effort, and I know they will because they've all done it. To be judged by your peers, I think, is the perfect way to get your work analyzed.
Next, look what Louis SHEFCHIK brought to the party, an extremely rare ride from 1968 called an ISO RIVOLTA.
Italian, and they were a highway car. One of the things that goes
rather unnoticed and until it's brought out, and that's the glass roof that we put in it. The hardest thing on the glass roof was to get it to match the rest of the roof so that from any kind of distance, you didn't know it. We went with the 6-speed Tremec transmission overdrive. Of course, with the Art Morrison chassis, we've got the independent rear suspension. The engine and gearbox were a package that we bought from GM Performance. It was a lot of work to kind of, you know, blend the old with the new, or I should say the new into the old. It's coilover all the way around, Penske shocks. EVOD did the wheels for us. And they're 17-inch. We got 8-inch on the front, 10-inch on the back. Willwood brakes, we went with 13-inch front and rear. For a highway tire, we went with the Pirelli P0s. Originally, it was just going to be a complete restoration of the car as original. And we had stripped it down, sent it out for its first acid dip to remove rust, and it removed a lot. And so the journey began.
Next up, we have Darin Smith and his 1972 Chevy C10 shortbed.
We got a hot small block 383, about 600 horsepower, 600 foot-pounds of torque, Hillborn injection, custom-made top plate to kind of hold it all together. It's also got a Tremec 6-speed. So what we did is we narrowed it overall 5 inches. Up front, we got rid of the rack and pinion because with TCI's front piece here, it gets rid of the steering gear. The steering column is a CPP unit. We put 69 gauges in there. Dakota Digital stuff is fitted in there. We put a differential cooler back there. It's a CBR Performance. It's got 3-pull fans in the back from Spall. And then we got Willwood brakes all the way around. And then we've got some really cool headers from Ultimate Headers. And we've got a real bona fide autocrosser here. The thing can go out on the track and really be competitive should you want to take such a beautiful truck out and whip on it. But I think we've probably built the most beautiful autocross truck out there so far.
All right, gentlemen, here we have Gary Corkell and his 32 Phaeton.
Chip Foose and Brookfield got together. They designed this car. It never really existed. It's a 2-door Phaeton. They decided to run of 32 of them. This is number 3 of 32.
To start different is I kicked the grill back 5 degrees and flared it. We got 37 Cadillac headlights on it with their own custom bar in the front. We had Aluminacraft make us a winter-style grill. This is a 291 DeSoto Hemi. It's a baby Hemi. It came out of a 1955 DeSoto out of the junkyard. On the interior, what we did was Classic Instruments hooked us up with I wanted a Plymouth-style gauge cluster from a 35 Plymouth Roadster, but kind of our flavor on it. That's a Crestliner, a 50s Crestliner steering wheel that we did. We did it in 118 days. It was close to 15,000 man-hours documented. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of the guys. And most people don't know that we built this car in that kind of time crunch.
Last but certainly not least from the Young Guns category, Kyle Ray and his awesome 88 BMW E30.
It's a 6-liter aluminum block LS with an 8-to-1 header that just wraps around and goes underneath the bottom of the car. Haltech is the main ECU sponsor, so that's running the whole engine and everything function-wise and electronic-wise. It's got the Live to Offend version 1 body kit on it, 6-speed transmission, and a ton of custom work. 6-piston Brembos in the front, 4-piston in the rear. They're from a Porsche Cayenne Turbo. The wheels are all center lock. They're rotiform wheels. They're a wheel that they make in a 5-lug pattern, but something that I wanted to do different was run center locks, and so I designed and machined a custom center lock hub adapter. In the trunk, there's a 22-gallon fuel cell. It's a little bit big for a race car, but kind of the point was to be able to still take it out on the street and maybe go get burgers or something after hitting the track. I hope that they just see something different. You know, we've grabbed something from a little bit of each culture. There's obviously European and domestic with the engine, a little bit of Japanese influence in the body kit. I want to show off that you can bring all those classes together and involve them in one great piece of art.
When we come back, we'll announce the category winners.
Then it's time to make our way to the 6th annual SEMA Ignited event to announce our overall winner.
It's all coming up when SEMA Battle of the Builders returns.
Our builders are narrowing down the field with 12 semifinalists to their final 4 favorites. before we move the party and the next round of judging to SEMA Ignited.
SEMA Ignited is an open event giving the public a chance to see all the incredible showcase vehicles that SEMA has to offer. It's the official SEMA after party, where fans and vendors get a chance to rub elbows with the builders and icons. It's an event like no other.
This is where the Battle of the Builders will announce the grand champion.
You guys ready?
The first category, Young Guns winner is Brad Swaney in the 71 Chevy C10. Brad, George, you see behind me. Congratulations, Brad.
Feeling pretty good, you know. Never thought I'd make it this far. It's crazy. Just, you know, first time at SEMA, I'm just speechless.
All right, from the trucks and off-road category, we have Randy Borcherding and his 1955 Chevy truck.
There's a tough contender, Randy. Congrats.
Hearing my name called up on the stage, I feel like I might have started to faint. Every one of these machines is a work of art. I mean, simple as that. The young man that built the truck, 22 years old. Look what he's doing.
And from the Sport Compact, the import winner is LOUIE SHEFCHIK. LOUIE SHEFCHIK is the 1968 ESO RIVOLTA, which is that gorgeous piece of machinery over there. Congrats, LOUIE.
To win the whole thing, that would be a dream come true. I mean, it's SEMA. I mean, it's, you know, what more could you ask for?
Last and definitely not least, in the hot rod category, we have Jim and Mike Ring, also known as the Ring Brothers, with their 1959 Chevy Camaro.
SEMA's where we bring the best we got and see what happens. So we're gonna certainly see what happens.
I can't wait to get up on the stage and find out.
So we have our representative from Moss Adams with the official envelope. The winner of the 6th annual SEMA Battle of the Builders is Jim and Mike Ring with their 69 Chevy Camaro.
It started with over 300, then down to 4 amazing builds.
And finally, our grand champion.
This is the cat's meow. He right here. No, this is just awesome, awesome night. I'll tell you, the Battle of Builders is just an awesome place to show a car, but I'll tell you what, it's nerve-wracking. It's a long couple days, but it's worth every bit of it.
I can't wipe it off. It's, can't even put it into words. It's amazing. I got the bigger one.
And a huge thank you to all the builders for making this one amazing competition.
And we'll see you all here next year at SEMA Battle of the Builders. Did you see the size of the crowd at SEMA Ignited? I cannot wait to get back there again. And I'm so happy for my friends Mike and Jim Ring. After competing in every Battle of the Builder, they finally pulled it off, becoming Battle of the Builders champions. Congratulations, guys, and nice matching shirts. Don't forget to check out the Battle of the Builders premiere on the History Channel tomorrow morning, February 7th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for more information, check out SEMABOTB.com. Enjoy the premiere.